Welcome to Hour of Sour, episode 7. This week, we're going to go through the Golden Globe nominees and guess who we think will win each and every nomination.
We should do this for the porno awards too, the
AVN? AVAN?
Who broadcasts that anyways?
Best porno or best double anal scene.
Rob, we should all just sit in your room there. This is sounding horrible.
Watch pornography
and watch the AVN awards together and do a live stream, and I bet they'll be okay with it.
Well, there will be a live stream. Who do you think gets the best award for live stream, if you know what I'm saying?
Who can we stream it to is my question.
I know that
anything. I have a bunch of things.
What was it called? Some guy streamed the AVN awards to not Discord. To
YouPorn.
Yeah, to some one of the like YouPorn or something like that, where he broadcasted it to that, but he had himself down in that, like how we have it right now. He had himself down at the bottom, and he was like pretending to talk stuff like it was supposed to be a review show, but he was actually just showing the AVN awards. I thought that was funny.
Nice.
I didn't know that they started in '84.
That surprised me.
So started in the 90s.
Golden Globes. Let me just read this little thing. Critics objected to the Foreign Press Association having no Black members and raised long-standing ethical questions over whether close relationships with Hollywood studios influenced the choice of nominees and winners. Tom Cruise in May returned the 3 Golden Globe statuettes that he has won. The HFPA has since added 21 new members, 6 whom are Black, banned gifts and favors, and implemented diversity and sexual harassment training. The group now has 105 members total. Despite these moves, major film and TV studios have tried to distance themselves from the Globes. What are your thoughts?
I think that the Golden Globes are horrible. I thought that they were horrible. The thing that tipped me off was the year The Tourist was nominated, when it was universally panned. I was shocked and not shocked when you said that there was only 106 members. But yeah, for me, in particular in the way things are, we tend to give the benefit of the doubt. But then when I heard the latest controversy, I'm like, oh, it's going to be like another thing, that they had no Black members at all.
That's crazy.
And they're supposed to be Hollywood foreign press. And so I guess it's just it seems like a bunch of vaguely European people or something like that. It was like, to me, that was the one time, because white man, I don't experience that much, but I was like shocked, like that's awful that they have no Black members at all. And then hearing that was enough for me, that I was glad when they weren't televised. I'm kind of annoyed at the rest of the industry because, nobody's watching us, but covering it with kind of the same fervor. I hope that this is the last time that we ever mention it and they go faded into a footnote, even though I find that the Critics' Choice Awards, which are trying to gun for that same spot, are just as bad, because the one redeeming thing I liked about the Golden Globes is that they did their own thing. And they kind of didn't care what the rest of the industry does. Now, Critics' Choice just want to predict what the Oscars want to do, which to me is just scummy and low life. But, the Hollywood foreign press, after what the president one year did to Brendan Fraser, is still unforgivable. They should all just go to hell.
Yeah, I feel very similar. I, for years, have not given a shit about any award show. I don't care about the Oscars. I don't care about the Golden Globes. The only ones that I can say I have any sort of belief in is the Cannes Film Festival. Mainly because of Cannes Film Festival, the judges change every year, and the judges are made up of like-minded people who are working in the industry. So Cronenberg is working in it. Chloe Zhao was working in it. There's
Spielberg had one year.
Exactly, right? It's people that work in the fucking industry that are. It's like me going up to other people that would be in my same field, and okay, we've all put our work out there. Collectively, who do we think makes the best one? I think that's a better way to choose what is the best example of our medium here. But the Oscars, I mean, ever since it was absolutely well deserved, so I'll never say it wasn't well deserved. But ever since the Halle Berry, Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington thing, that was so obviously just give it to the black people, which to me is far more insulting than if they had earned it. They did great jobs in the movies that they were in and Sidney Poitier.
That's the thing that I want to say, because to me, it's not even that, like, I get what they were going for, because that was kind of like the first of multiple times where they were accused of being so white, even though like the one time it trended was because Will Smith gave a bad performance in Concussion and Jada Pinkett Smith said it and it caught fire. And then there was so much virtue signaling, it makes everybody want to throw up. But to me, it's like I watched Training Day in the theater, the one that he won his Oscar for. And I know that he's given better performances and more nuanced performances, but that's like a big, very entertaining, very well done performance. And Ethan Hawke adds a bit of dimension to it as well. I saw it in the theater. I really like that. To me, as long as it's like a good enough performance, like for that kind of B film, it's an A performance. And so it's like, it wasn't even insulting to me until I'm trying to think of the very first time I lost my faith was shaken was when The Dark Knight wasn't nominated. And like, I was so mad that The Dark Knight or WALL-E weren't nominated, that I'm like, okay, this is terrible. But I feel every generation has their, Harry and Tonto, where,
for me, that was just so indicative that this is not about these movies. This is about saying, oh shit, we're going back on it.
Well,
but for me,
if you want any show of that, Don't Look Up is nominated how many times?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what? There's a worse fucking movie than Don't Look Up, and it's called Shakespeare in Love. And that's absolutely...
Or Being the Ricardos. I'm kidding.
No, Shakespeare in Love winning Best Picture. And it is a shit show of a film. It is so terribly uninteresting. And the fact that Weinstein fought and bullied people for that movie to win the award, to me, shows you right then and there, this is a piece, this is garbage.
I will say there's a life beyond Harvey Weinstein, though, with that movie that I've kind of warmed to a bit. I've never liked it, of course, as much as Saving Private Ryan, which I think is actually Steven Spielberg's best film. But like, I don't know. It comes back to for that Black Knight argument of like Halle Berry. Like my friend saw Monsters Ball, so people are still watching the movie today, and was like, "Oh, it was an interesting performance, at least." With Shakespeare in Love, yeah, I didn't think Gwyneth Paltrow deserved to win at all, but like it's Tom Stoppard's screenplay is decent enough. The production and craftsmanship of the sets and everything is decent enough. It's a light comedy-ish thing, which doesn't get rewarded a whole lot. So it's kind of like, well, at least everybody involved was trying, even though they were going to the beat of Harvey's drum, and it was skewed. It's not like a lazy movie that like went exactly like, it's not like Rami Malek winning Best Actor for Bohemian Rhapsody, where it's like, I'll just do this. I'll just play a regular person in like an audition for like Mad TV style level of impression, and I'll do that.
I dare you to go back
an Oscar
and watch Shakespeare in Love and compare it to a recent episode of Doctor Who. It's got the same production value. But
people like Doctor Who.
I know, absolutely, and which is great. But Doctor Who is not supposed to win Academy fucking awards.
No, yeah,
and, that movie when that movie won, because I remember I'd seen it. Excuse me, with the girl I was dating at the time, and I was like, this is garbage. And then when it won, same with when I believe oh crap, it was oh shit, I'm getting off topic and I don't want to be, but there was a movie it was a Sam Mendes movie with Tom Hanks, something Road
to Perdition.
It won, and I'm like, this movie fucking stinks. Like, this movie is no good. And
what did Road to Perdition win?
I thought Road to Perdition had won Best Picture or Best Director.
No.
Sam Mendes?
No, because Sam Mendes had won earlier for American Beauty, another movie that
I always saw these awards as like hoity-toity people wanting to give out hoity-toity awards to hoity-toity movies.
But it's always done just enough. It did win the Academy Award for Best Cinematography, and it was nominated for a bunch of stuff. But it's like one of those where it's like my taste of almost like when they choose the nominees, which are nominees that I would never choose. But after they choose the nominees, when I watch all of the nominees and see who they choose as the winners, like Anthony Hopkins over Chadwick Boseman or something, it's kind of like there's just a bit of that reminder where it's like, okay, like they're 70% paying attention. They have their own thing. Like they like movies about World War II and movies that are about Hollywood. But within that chronicle, they still occasionally look at who was best. But
the only thing I'll use award shows for, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, is it does like, oh shit, apparently these movies were rated as best writer, best writer. Maybe I'll check them out. That's the only thing it does for me. Other than that, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
So this garbage award thing it happens on January 9th. And we decided to just give our impressions on what we think will win.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go through from the bottom, and we'll start with best performance by an actor in a supporting role on television.
You have to read it with your best announcer voice.
Oh no, I can't. But I don't even know these people. See, one thing that we're going to go through on this, and I have no clue about these movies or TV shows. Okay, so I'm just guessing. I'm going to even say them wrong. Pardon?
I was going to say you haven't seen a good majority of these. There's a few I haven't seen, but the majority.
I'm surprised I've seen as many of them that I've seen.
Same here. Yeah, when I saw the list, I'm surprised I've seen.
So supporting actor, we have Billy Crudup, Kieran Culkin, Mark Duplass, Brett Goldstein, and Oh Young-soo. I don't remember who was Oh Young-soo in Squid Game.
I believe Oh Young-soo was either the old man or the guy with the scar on his face who ran the bad guys club.
Oh yeah,
I think, but I'll have to.
It wasn't the guy who went to the Korea University.
No, it's the old man. The old man.
Oh, it is the old man. Okay. So I know.
I'm giving it to Oh Young-soo.
Pardon?
I'm giving it to Oh Young-soo.
And you think that he's going to win, or you think that he's the best? Because I feel we should say both.
No, I think he's going to win. Because
who do you think is the best, though?
I think there's something about, because of all this inclusivity crap. I think inclusivity is great, but when we get to this point where they're going to show that they're inclusive to the point that they're going to let that hinge on their
inclusivity for the
results.
Inclusivity is bullshit.
So here's what I want to say, because I feel like, and why I wanted to talk about this is because I hate when we talk about who we think is going to win. Like I'll play that game, absolutely, but it's like it breeds to it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. What I want to say is, like, out of the nominees, usually when you pick who you think is the best, it more often than not aligns with it. Like I would probably, out of the supporting actors in that series, I would probably have nominated I think I would have nominated the antagonist, even though the old man is, but like it's okay. Like they're all pretty good except for Billy Crudup, who always plays the same person. And the fact that Billy Crudup isn't ever going to beat his performance in Almost Famous is just kind of like, I don't want to give it to him. He's just kind of bland. He managed to, like, playing Dr. Manhattan boring. But you know who I want to give it to and who I think will win? Kieran Culkin. Family, again, we talked about this earlier, family of a famous group of actors. Why can't I do this where all you three are present? There we go. Kieran Culkin is who I'd give it to, and I think that it taps into what they look for. Succession is kind of like a European show, and I'll say about Succession about Squid Game being nominated, I would say Squid Game more than transcended inclusivity, because you could say that about like Money Heist, which by all indications, I'm just going to prematurely say I don't have much interest in it. I don't think it's a good show.
No, I don't either, but yeah.
But I think, and from people who have watched it too, but I think Squid Game transcends being inclusive to being good. And or at least good enough that, like, you know what, I remember that character. And
I'm not saying that I think he'll win because
that's what it sounded like you said.
Not just because of that. No, not at all. I think Squid Game's awesome. I enjoyed it very much. But I think there's going to be a little bit of extra oomph to giving people who need inclusivity.
You know who I don't want to see win? White mediocrity of anybody from the morning show. Because Like the people, in my opinion, if we're gonna go by that, like, and I guess Goldstein is Jewish, probably. Let's be real. And I really like Roy Kent a lot as a character. If you watch Ted Lasso, that's a really good role. I think he won an Emmy already, though, so that's more important than this.
So what are we doing? Are we choosing based off of who we think will win, or are we saying who we like the most?
I think that both Kieran Culkin will win, and I also think that he's, out of all the roles, he's probably the most notable. I wouldn't mind seeing him win.
Rob?
Billy Crudup deserves it. Oh Young Soo will win it.
Okay. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role on television.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah. Jennifer Coolidge for The White Lotus, Katelyn Deaver, Dope Sick, Andy McDowell, Maid, Sarah Snook, Succession, Hannah Waddingham, Ted Lasso. Again, decent crop of nominees. I've seen Ted Lasso. I haven't seen The White Lotus, although I hear people talk about Jennifer Coolidge's performance in that. So I wouldn't be surprised if she wins. Katelyn Deaver, I watched Justified yesterday. She was on there as a 14-year-old. She's been on that, Last Man Standing, Booksmart. She's been in a lot. Andy McDowell, never been a great actress. Part of, like, her daughter's show Maid. Maybe they produced it or something. Succession, I really like Sarah Snook, and Predestination is what I know her from, and she's great in that. But Hannah Waddingham, I think, does the most amount of acting, and Ted Lasso is already a darling. So I think that it could go between Coolidge, both for popularity and earned. I would give it to Hannah Waddingham because she got me emotional on Ted Lasso.
Rob.
What do you guys think?
Hannah Waddingham deserves it. Andy McDowell will win it.
I have no say on this horse race.
Okay, actress.
No, we just did actress.
No, that was supporting actress.
Oh,
no, we're going to best performance by an actor in a limited series.
Okay, fuck off that Paul Bettany got nominated. Like, I like Paul Bettany as an actor. He's a good actor. I think of him on, A Knight's Tale. He's pretty decent.
This is just a popularity nomination.
Vision is just like a bad character, at least insofar as they handled him. And, I'm glad that they nominated Liz Olson, but yeah, Paul Bettany is not it for me. Oscar Isaac for Scenes from Marriage, always great. Watch that. Not nearly his best role, but whatever. Michael Keaton, Dope Sick. Who gives a shit? That was a super hyped up show. I haven't bothered to see it, even though it's about something important. The Serpent, Tahar Rahim, and then Ewan McGregor for Halston. Halston, Stan made a documentary. I'm sure that's more interesting than anything Ewan McGregor did, because Ewan McGregor is just kind of like a movie star who likes to pretend to be an actor. Although his best performance, would you guys say, is in Harley Quinn? Because he's kind of like, that's him.
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, I'd say so, actually.
Where was Ewan McGregor in Harley Quinn?
Exactly. He was Roman Sionis. He was the bad guy.
Oh, was he? Oh, shit. No, his best movie was his first one.
Did you watch
one of his first ones? No, I don't watch garbage. Well, I try not to watch garbage, and usually that means all of DC.
So you never saw, because Birds of Prey is very much its own thing, and it's one of those where I watch it.
Bad.
I watch it on TV though, and it like stays the same and gets better. Like if you just watch it, ignore all the characters and stuff, because it's not like the plot is garbage. Like the screenplay is awful.
I was so disappointed in the theater. I hated myself.
It was one of the last movies I saw before quarantine. I saw it with my brothers. I enjoyed it for what it was. My expectations were low. The cinematography to that movie, though, is excellent. Like, just if you ever catch it on TV, just like watch it or watch clips of it. Just pay attention to the cinematography by Matthew Libatique, because he did that. He shot Venom. He shot A Star Is Born. He works for Aronofsky. He's a very good cinematographer. So the cinematography and the costume design on that are great. But getting back to this, I just give it to Tahar Rahim. I haven't seen The Serpent, but I always edge to giving it to somebody new, somebody who I haven't seen before, because I want to promote that. So I give it to him,
Rob?
like, yeah.
Ewan McGregor deserves it. Tahar Rahim will win it.
Did you watch Halston?
I did. Loved it. Thought it was fantastic.
Oh, okay, good. But did you think that he deserved it for Fargo? Because I was like, watching Fargo, I was like, this is probably the best that Ewan McGregor can do, is my opinion. You know,
Fargo,
beyond the
he
camp
was-
that is Star Wars.
Fargo, he was dealing with special effects, and he's been in the special effects world for too long. So it was nice to watch him in Halston deal without special effects, deal without makeup, just be a extremely gay fashion designer.
Which he's always been. Like, Ewan McGregor has always kind of been gay.
He was just fantastic as his character of Halston. I enjoyed him much more. I love Michael Keaton in Dope Sick, but McGregor was better. I believe the character that McGregor played Halston.
Mm-hmm.
I choose Paul Bettany. I'm kidding. I don't know. Best performance by an actress in a limited series, anthology series, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. I think that even before we get to it, like, this is so easily Kate Winslet in a walk. Like, she does this 10 times. This is going to be probably like, what, her 15th Golden Globe. And when we look at like realized female characters, like Mara of Easttown, like, I thought it was kind of an overrated show, but her performance in it was good. I can see Margaret Qualley winning because it seems like it's the best performance that she's done so far. But I think Kate Winslet, like, this is right in the wheelhouse, like, of the central Leo and Kate thing. I think that she's going to win. Enough people have seen it. It's popular. I really like they're all pretty good actresses, and Margaret Qualley. I was
going to say they're all great actresses, and Jessica Chastain.
You don't think Chastain is good, eh?
No.
Maybe you're just threatened by her feminine, masculine.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm voting Elizabeth Olsen just because Rob would hate that.
Her boobs aren't big enough. No, that's not true. No, with this one, I have only seen two of them. Of the two, I would go with the one I haven't seen, which is Kate Winslet. Totally agree with Will that this is just her thing. That what I read about Mare of Easttown, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like Kate Winslet would fucking kill it. And her
accent in it is like, it amazes me that Kate has been, and I thought it's the same thing we said about Matt Damon, and they should really start together, where they've been around long enough where you would think, similar to Leo, where it's like, oh, now they're playing Leo is playing Leo, or Tom Cruise is just playing a variation of Tom Cruise. She hasn't stopped where she sounds different. Like, it's like you go back to her Steve Jobs role. And I always forget Kate Winslet is in Steve Jobs because she got an Academy Award nomination. She's so great in that movie. She can still do the disappearing act. And I thought that was good. A bit more, you think that it's Kate Winslet, but yeah, I think she'll win. But there's nobody I would be pissed off if they won here, although maybe Chastain, because to me, it's like all marital strife remake of a popular thing.
Yep. There's nothing with Scenes from a Marriage. There's nothing in it that you haven't seen before.
Did you watch it all too?
I'm sorry.
Did you watch it too?
I watched the two that I've seen here are WandaVision, Scenes from Marriage.
Yeah, I watched the first and last episode of Scenes from a Marriage, and in the last episode, the whole show just ends. And I'm like, oh yeah, and I called it that they'd bring back the phony behind the scenes aesthetic at the end, even though they forget it several episodes through. So yeah.
Best television limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television: Dope Sick, Impeachment, Made, Mare of Easttown, The Underground Railroad.
Miniseries or TV film. I think Mare will win. Yeah. I don't think any of them, like Impeachment, isn't as good as. Well, I haven't seen it, but it's not as good as the O.J. Simpson one. I guess they'll just never top it because that's like too good to be true. Maid could win. Like, we could be underestimating Maid's appeal. Again, I think it's Mare of Easttown, and I think that people will complain that Underground Railroad didn't win if it doesn't. It's visually a very striking thing, but like 5 minutes, I watched the first 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, okay, I can't watch this. Like, I just don't want to watch people being racist for a half hour at somebody. It's like, we've seen that role enough times. 12 Years a Slave did it best. And I understand that it's like, important subject, blah, blah, blah. It's a striking series. I just wish it was better applied. But yeah, I'd say Mare of Easttown, and I think that Maid could upset, but I'll say Mare of Easttown.
I'm gonna just say this straight out. Isn't it Mare?
Mayor.
Yeah, it's Mayor. I'm just getting confused because I was having a conversation earlier about Mayor of Kingstown.
Sorry, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here. I'm just
No.
like,
It's
what?
hard for me to pronounce. I've always pronounced my R's and my L's incorrectly. I had to go to speech therapy. So please correct me anytime that I'm wrong, because it drives me so crazy when people do internet shows like this and then they're wrong, and you're like, it's Mayor, not Mayor. Yeah.
On that note, figure.
Yeah.
Figure.
Who the hell says figure?
Figure, not figure.
Who cares?
Okay.
It's like my wife. She says bagels. Okay, she says bagels, and I say bagels, and I'm
To
like,
me, that's like, but isn't that like splitting hairs? Like, how many people give a fuck?
I'll tell you one that's not
bagel or
splitting hairs,
bagel? They
which
made
is
a
what my
community
wife
episode.
does. My wife says they're going to wreak havoc. And I was like, there's no other fucking person that typed that. It's havoc.
Yeah, that is true.
And recently I
where is she
watched the fucking television show where a person said wreck havoc.
oh my god.
You know what
I'm like, it's not, it's fucking reek.
You know who sounds like an imbecile? Like what phrase that people use all the time when they say "on accident"? And I heard it on TV.
You know what?
Yes.
That's an American thing. All my
it's-
American coworkers, they all say "on accident."
I
Canadians,
just want to
colloquial.
slam their head against a door.
and I don't know why. It's so weird because how many?
It doesn't even make
how
sense
many-
grammatically.
And I'm like, what the fuck is on accident? You do
It's-
something by accident.
It's a regional
Yeah.
thing.
By way of via accident.
Exactly.
this
Anyway,
results. It doesn't happen simultaneously to the event.
Yeah. So
best performance.
I got.
Oh,
I'm saying mine.
Sorry,
Bitch.
go on.
For me, Mayor of Easttown deserves it. The Underground Railroad will win it.
Best performance by an actor in a television series, musical, or comedy.
Anthony
Yep.
Anderson needs
Go
to
for it.
fucking get thrown under a bus.
Oh my
It's
god.
funny in Scary Movie 3, and he's overstayed his welcome ever since.
Oh my
Blackish-
God, has he ever?
There's something, but I will say there's something about Blackish where it's intelligent enough to stick around, but it like is totally like I watched it. I'm like, this is written by an old man who
Yep.
is like exercising his popularity at the moment. And I will say, as being a mouthpiece for that, Anthony Anderson does a good job. But it's kind of, I was a bit happy that Tracy Ellis Ross, who's also nominated, like when that show started to come out and Anthony Anderson was the star, and then everybody went crazy for Tracy Ellis Ross, who's like a bit overrated. Again, child of somebody famous, but like that like threatened the show. And then on the posters now you see her in the center and him off to the side, and it's like, oh, is Anthony Anderson? I wonder if he's like pissed.
The few, because I watched about the first two seasons. I was like, man, this is fun. It's pretty quick. They get it. And then it turns into fucking monologue, the show.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, dude, I get it. You know what? Sometimes, because I just want to like, shut the fuck up and just say the fucking joke. You're supposed to be a would-be fucking sitcom. Just fucking say the joke.
Mm-hmm. So the nominees are Anthony Anderson for Blackish, Nicholas Hoult for The Great, Steve Martin, Only Murders in the Building, Martin Short, Only Murders in the Building, and Jason Sudeikis, Ted
A
Lasso.
question for you. Has anyone seen Only Murders in the Building? Because I avoided it because I thought I couldn't care less for these actors.
I watched an episode of it because I'm a big fan of Steve Martin and Martin Short, and I enjoyed the one episode I watched.
I knew that it was getting like good reviews, so I was like, oh, this is premiering. I was actually looking forward to it before. I watched 3 episodes of it, and I like it starts with a bang, you know, with that, and then it just runs out. It takes too long to get going for me. And I'm a fan of Selena Gomez just because she's pretty, and I've followed her career. We're like the same age. And I will say on that show, and I know there's good episodes to come because they do like a silent episode and cool stuff like that, and I hear it ends well, but I didn't like it. I think it's slightly overrated. But I'll say Martin Short, in my opinion, puts in work on that show. Steve Martin is kind of like coasting. He's kind of like, oh, I can do this. And, you know, he's created the show. Selena Gomez does her thing, the same as Steve Martin. Martin Short, to me, is actually putting in a performance. Like, he's actually playing a character, and he keeps the show going, in my opinion. So out of those two,
he's one of the best parts of the morning show. I mean, I was bummed to see that he wasn't nominated for the morning show, because he's one of the best fucking parts of it.
I saw him talking about on his talk show appearance how he always puts in work and rehearses for his talk show appearances because he's, getting paid for it, which a lot of people don't know. When you go on a talk show, you get paid for it. But he always he does a rehearsal. And then as soon as the actual talk show happens, you get to the second question, it's like you've forgotten it. But because you've rehearsed, and when you see him on Jimmy Fallon or something, of course, Jimmy overrates him to hell. But he's good. I watched Inherent Vice for the first time, where he plays a corrupt dentist, and he's who dies in a trampoline accident. He's good. I wouldn't mind seeing him win, but does he need to? The person to me who does the most acting, and I'd say it's probably Jason Sudeikis, on Ted Lasso. He's very good. I can't see him hanging around for that for a third season, even though he does he's still doing the same thing. But as far as characters go, it's a layered character, does it well. It made me emotional. It got to me out of all the characters. I haven't seen Nicholas Hoult on the Great, but he's just playing his character in The Favorite, which was his best role that he's
Nicholas
played.
Hoult role. You've seen Nicholas Hoult in The Great.
Mm-hmm. Except for even Knox is kind of man, a better actor in that role in Mad Max would probably do the same, if not better. I retroactively, when I rewatched the X-Men prequels, hate his character Beast because he's such an enabler, and he has so much screen time and does nothing with it because Nicholas Hoult isn't a good actor. He's just been great about getting work for. So I think that Jason Sudeikis will win in a sweep, even though I wouldn't mind seeing Short win.
Rob?
Yeah, for me, Sudeikis deserves it. Sudeikis will win it.
Sudeikis all around. Okay, best performance by an actor in a television series, musical, or comedy.
Actress. God damn it.
Actress. Hannah. Okay. Einbinder. Elle Fanning.
That's a German name if you've ever heard one. Einbinder.
Issa Rae. Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah.
Jean Smart.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. Going from the bottom up, Jean Smart is a good actress. She was absolutely fantastic in Watchmen. And I actually still think of her as the mom in Snow Day. But she's a good actress. I watched Hacks because it was so well reviewed. I watched the first episode and I'm like, this fucking sucks. It's just basically, I believe Hannah Einbinder, and I'm sorry for not pronouncing her name correctly. But yeah, comedian, whatever. Anyways, I watched the show, and the main female character, it's this is brave because they're not likable. She's very unlikable. She's somebody who coasts off of somebody, has a job as a writer, is employed full-time as a writer, and then considers it work to go work for a mighty has-been in their mansion and stuff like that. It's this is so not what I relate to, and this character just seems whatever. So after watching the first episode with my brother Sam, I thought it was not great. Speaking of which, Elle Fanning in The Great, don't mind her. Sure, that show's okay for the people that watch it. Don't care. Issa Rae, I feel that there's something there with her where she could even transcend her, it started off awkward black girl sketch on YouTube and then became this show. I like her. She's she's also very pretty, but she's a pretty good actress. Wouldn't mind if she won, because I've never seen a whole episode of Insecure, but I like her. Tracy Ellis has been decorated enough, so I'd want to give it to Issa Rae. Actually, I guess would be my favorite. Although I'm not sure if she'll win. I think they might give it to Ellis Ross again.
Yeah, I will not support anything about that Blackish show because I don't like how preachy and I'll just say it. I feel a show.
It started off good though.
It did. It started off wonderful, but then, in my opinion, the reason I dropped off it got kind of racist.
Everything's just a lesson. I find it incredibly sexist.
It became very everything, and I hate.
Yeah, misogynist was what I was thinking.
And I'm not going to vote for Blackish. I've never seen any of these other shows. So I'm just gonna throw a fucking dart at a dartboard. Issa Rae.
Yeah,
I got nothing. Best television series, musical or comedy: The Great, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, Reservation Dogs, Ted Lasso.
Uh, yes. Ted Lasso probably. Although I don't know, like Reservation Dogs, I hear like great things about, but it's hard to tell if that's just like hype. I know Rotten Tomatoes reviews stuff really well, but I didn't like Only Murders in the Building, so like it was okay, but it's just there wasn't a reason there. Out of all the ones there, premise alone, I like how original Only Murders in the Building is as a premise about like people starting podcasts and stuff. They should probably just give it to Reservation Dogs, because Ted Lasso, again, it's like it's the only thing Apple TV has going for it, so it doesn't need this win. So I'd say Reservation Dogs. Why not?
In my opinion, Ted Lasso deserves it. Again,
Yeah.
haven't seen the other ones outside of Only Murders in the Building, but only the first one. Ted Lasso deserves it, but because nothing's been thrown the way of HBO Max yet, it's going to go to Hacks.
I'm going to say Ted Lasso. Best performance by an actor on a television series drama.
Yeah.
Brian Cox, Lee Jung-jae, Billy Porter, Jeremy Strong, Omar Sy.
So I'll say Omar Sy is a good actor. I constantly think back to his role in The Untouchables, one of the few foreign movies that I watch, and how good that performance is. And it's funny they played Bishop for like 2 seconds in Days of Future Past. He's a good actor. So like him winning, I've never seen Lupin. Is it yet another British or French detective show?
French detective, yeah.
Looks, yeah. I hate, just because of fuck you, I hate
it's getting a lot of
shows.
a lot of interest, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's just like Luther, like same thing. Like I don't know. I'm sure as his fans,
Luther wrote the fucking book, and now everybody's been trying to live up to it. Because I dare anyone to not watch Luther and say, okay, this is what you're aiming for. You know what I mean? Luther's what you're aiming for. You watch fucking Cracker's what you're aiming for. And then you watch stuff like this, and you're like, yeah. I find that shows, and I'm talking out of my ass because I've never seen it, but I find it like similar to what Will said, a good amount of detective shows that you watch, you can see what they're trying to be. And Luther is fantastically good.
I want to say, so for mine, I really appreciate and was really happy. Did you guys ever see a couple years ago when Brian Cox won for this role? And it was, did you see his speech and him winning? And it was the first, he says, this is the first major award I've ever won in my career. And you look back at, him at Stryker, and you're like, wow. And he like really appreciated.
Even before fucking Stryker, him as Hannibal Lecter. He was the scariest of the Hannibal Lecters. And I'm like, how is this guy not won an award by now?
Yeah, even him in Adaptation, which I love. So him winning, absolutely. It was so humble. He won this last year, and I was so surprised. I'm like, yeah, he really deserves it. But I hate it when people win a Golden Globe more than once on a TV show. It's just like, they won once, they don't need to win again. Like, I'd almost make that a rule. Although like it's rare where somebody, it's like I don't think that Peter Dinklage was ever better than the first few seasons on Game of Thrones, but there's the occasional thing where they get nominated or they win, and then they go to another level that you didn't think that they could go to. But on principle, it's like, if somebody wins once, they don't need to win again. Even if they're nominating the best, it's like, yeah, people know. Although, Julia Louis-Dreyfus on Veep is a good example of like, just year after year, there was nobody who was topping that in terms of well-written, funny female characters. There was nobody. So I understand repeated wins because the rest of the categories suck.
So who's your choice?
I don't think Jeremy Strong is a good actor. So I'm just going to say no. Billy Porter has also won before. I will never watch Pose. I just have no interest. Good for him, but Billy Porter is one of the more obnoxious people I just kind of can't stand watching him. Lee Jung-jae for Squid Game, I'd love to see him win, so I'm going for him. I like that role. It's sympathetic. He's very much like a window to the audience, and he doesn't have a whole lot to do. He's not even like, I wouldn't say he's amazing, but it's like, given pause to think about it, I'd give it to him.
I think he did a great job. So yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, for me, no, Lee Jung Jae will get it. Brian Cox deserves it. And that's just, even if he's won for it before, I think Brian Cox is an actor that even when you put him in a absolutely fucking shit show Adam Sandler movie, he still manages to make his role something worth watching.
But isn't he just kind of playing the same thing that he won like last time?
I don't, but he is. Honestly, I've never seen the Succession show. I'm basing that entirely. I've never seen any of the shows in here except Squid Game. So I'm basing that entirely on the fact that I want to watch Succession, but then I think Brian Cox and everything I've ever seen him in, he has never disappointed me.
I watched the first few episodes of Succession and I watched the finale here, and it's just kind of like he's kind of doing the same thing. And Succession has all the tools to be better than it is, but for me, it's like the incessant shaky cam and just baffling directorial decisions. I don't like it. I don't like this style. So
best performance by an actress in a television series drama. Uzo Aduba, Jennifer Aniston, Christine Baranski, Elizabeth Moss, and oh boy, Michaela J. Rodriguez.
Oh, it just says MJ Rodriguez for here.
Okay.
I don't know who that is, and it's like one of those where, you know, maybe, oh yeah. Cool. I would say so for me, they're all good actresses, and Jennifer Aniston is also there. When are we gonna fucking drop the act of Jennifer Aniston even getting nominated? She's never given anything close to a great performance except on Friends, which is fantastically written, but she's not great. Like Elizabeth Moss, there's an actress. Like I did a special on my website on Elizabeth Moss and how she constantly picks good roles. Her being nominated again for The Handmaid's Tale, sure, you know, whatever. Christine Baranski was in The Ref, which I recently saw, partly based on Rob's suggestion, and she's good. And
I'd argue that Elizabeth Moss has chosen a lot of great roles, and she's also chosen The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. Well, that's I will say career move wise, to go from Mad Men to have another show to be on is good.
Mad Men was a good show.
I wouldn't mind. I'll just give it to Christine Baranski because The Good Fight, for at least its first 3 seasons, and I haven't seen the next one because I don't know what fucking streaming. I downloaded Paramount Plus yesterday to watch 1883 and even watch Mayor of Kingstown, and The Good Fight wasn't on there, even though it's, you know, Paramount Plus. It's not in Canada, so God knows where. But I love the first seasons enough that I'll give it to Baranski because she deserves it. Sure.
Yeah. Right. Same. Baranski deserves it. My wife watches A Good Fight. I don't watch it, but whenever I've seen Christine Baranski on it, she is filling up the screen. She's a wonderful actress. So Baranski deserves it. Moss will win it for this shit show that will not die, The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, the wheel spinning. Uzo is a good actress, by the way, from Orange is the New Black. Kind of underrated. Uzo Aduba. She was Helen Crazy Eyes on...
But even Moss is a terrific actress. It's just The Handmaid's Tale is one of those shows that got popular and said, oh shit, we're not going to fucking stop it now. Even though as we're continuing, it makes absolutely no sense.
The benefit though that you would like, Rob, is that this season they actually kill Shakespeare in Love himself, Joseph.
Oh, really? Oh, maybe
yeah. And that's the thing is that, like, I think it's the finale where it's like they take it out and you're like, okay, how is he gonna get out of this one? Or don't you do this again? And then they just fucking kill him. And my mom was like, oh, like I can't believe it. It was so good. So, you know, good for that. But on to movies now, right?
I have no pick and no best television series drama. Lupin, The Morning Show. Is it Pose or Posse? It's Pose, right?
Yeah,
Posse is 2 S's. Yeah. Squid Game and Succession, and I vote Squid Game.
I vote Squid Game too. There's like nothing that's captured the audience of the world more. It's an international breakthrough.
It will go to Squid Game, which is not a drama. It should go to The Morning Show.
You think it should go to comedy?
The Morning Show is not comedy.
No, Squid Game.
Squid Game is, to me, comedy. Yeah, Squid Game is an absolute comedy. I'm confused as to why it's a drama. The only way I think it can be...
Because it's so serious. So like it's life and death.
I think the story of him and his daughter is why it's in drama. And then when you watch the end of it, when he has purple hair, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, this is a drama. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a bit stylistically much. But what I love is that it exists, like the show was made with no conception that it would be nominated for awards. Similar to The Departed, actually, where Martin Scorsese in interviews was like, yeah, I did it because I thought this would be fun. I never thought this would be what I win my Oscar for. So the fact that Squid Game defies convention, at least, and I'd love for it to see. I'd hate to see Succession because I just don't think that's a good show at all.
Yeah, I'd be fine with Squid Game winning it. I just don't think it deserves it.
The morning show is not that good.
The morning show is a better show than Squid Game.
You think so? Well, fuck it. I want to see Squid Game win anyway, even though you think so. I love like Squid Game. It was like I enjoyed it so much that I stopped myself from watching the last episode right away. And then the last episode dropped.
I enjoyed it. It was too simple. I thought
the plot that goes nowhere with the detective that just goes nowhere. He gets shot and falls off a cliff. But
I believe that was written into the script as season 2, way to start season 2 detective.
Oh yeah.
And now
that's what ruins the show.
Motion picture.
Original. I think
we already did musical.
Or we're just going to skip original song because I have heard only one of these. Two of these. And I'm never going to vote for anything for Billie Eilish. I hope that chick dies.
It's going to be No Time to Die. You know it's going to be.
It is, and it's sad because that girl deserves to be murdered.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can't think of. The thing is, No Time to Die is the only song that I've like listened to really. Like I couldn't tell you about its placement. Like it has prominent placement in No Time to Die, and this is why Bond wins, because it's important. The song is important. Like it's an important way to start. And I don't
Down
think
to Joy in Belfast is perfectly placed. That's why for me, I'd be absolutely Down to Joy. They have a whole scene with that song, and it's great.
Which scene is that?
With Belfast?
Yeah.
The scene when it's in the start and he's arranging with all his friends. They're all kind of playing. He's got the trash cans, the shield, and he's running around and it shows the parents out. That's the song Down to Joy. Okay. It has a great. It's a song about joy. He's having a joyful time in his life, and it makes me happy. Billie Eilish makes me want to kill myself. I really hope
we've
that
seen it
herself off a
before.
bridge.
Yeah.
So, Will, who do you think's going to win?
Well, all the songs from Encanto, as far as are terrible. I didn't like Encanto at all. It was awful. It was boring. There was no point to it. So I'd say. I think that they'll give it to just Billie Eilish, and anyways, I really don't
think it'll go to Beyonce because Beyonce kind of runs the world, doesn't she?
But like no, I think they always give it to Bond, and they love the buzzy headlines and stuff. Although they don't care as much about newer, younger people. That's why
she got a lot of attention for that song, so I think she'll get it.
Yeah, and we heard it for like 2 years, but I'll there's nobody I even care to see win here. I guess give Carole King a posthumous thing like for respect, but I'll just to what Rob said with Belfast, sure.
I hope Billie Eilish does win an award for her biography when she overdoses in a
no. Best original score, motion picture, Alexandre Desplat.
Yeah. Correct.
Germaine Franco. Johnny Greenwood, Alberto Iglesias, Hans Zimmer.
I'll say that I find actually the score to Dune kind of overrated. It's just like Hans Zimmer kind of going crazy with experiments. I remember knowing for sure that it was going to be like there was no greater lock for a nomination, but I don't think that Denis Villeneuve is actually, even though I like him a lot, he's not good with deploying music. It's just because people were a fan of Hans Zimmer, and like this is his popular one that he'll probably win the Academy Award for. But yeah, I wish, even though I didn't hate the movie, I didn't like the movie Spencer, but because that score goes so against the grain with the rest of it, I prefer that Johnny Greenwood score to The Power of the Dog. The only time I remember it, like I remember the score in French Dispatch, and I remember in Power of the Dog. I'm sure Parallel Mothers is a good score. I'll have to listen to it, but yeah, I'd say give it to The Power of the Dog. I is my personal choice, but I think Dune will win.
Wow.
Yeah, Dune's going to win for Dune Part 2. So Zimmer won't win it this time. It'll be Power of the Dog that wins it.
But
I
you
think
don't
Dune will win
think
it.
the Golden Globes, are they sure if they're even going to be around next time? Because
Yeah.
like, do you think that they're aware of like, well, we're going to continue doing our own thing anyways, or do you think that they're going to be like, well, we need a big win, so we're going to do that, we're going to award it to this person?
Yes to both. Best screenplay motion picture: Paul Thomas Anderson, Kenneth Branagh. Is it Branagh?
Brana.
Yeah.
Branagh?
Brana.
Okay. Branagh?
Brana.
I'm just fucking with you. Jane Campion,
Both Being the Ricardos and Don't Look Up get in there. Like
Adam McKay, and Aaron Sorkin. So yeah, Don't Look Up. Let's vote them to win every single thing.
Jesus.
Being the Ricardos is the worst screenplay Aaron Sorkin has written since Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
I will say, yeah, it's Sorkin's. It's not terrible, but it's definitely
worse than Trial of the Chicago 7, and I didn't like that screenplay at all.
Yep, it's definitely his weakest thing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going with the one I haven't seen yet, but just because every one of with save for Inherent Vice, every one of his screenplays has been astounding. Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah. So you saw Inherent Vice too, right, Rob?
I hated it.
I watched it for the first time.
I've never seen Punch Drunk Love because I won't watch Adam Sandler try to act. But Inherent Vice, I was just like, this is, I don't know what the fuck this is. But
well,
it was
with Licorice
boring.
Pizza, I hear that it's Punch Drunk Love light. Basically.
Really? Eh?
Oh,
Yeah.
But
So
since it doesn't star Adam Sandler,
I'll try it.
yeah. So I
I
think
hate
like,
licorice though.
the most original, it's annoying because there are two things. There's dialogue to me, and then there's the core concept. And I feel the one with the strongest core concept for and it's not, they don't differentiate between original and adapted. I'd say, oh, and it's kind of, isn't it puzzling that they fucking do Don't Look Up and Being the Ricardos, yet West Side Story, people have like lauded that screenplay quite a bit. But Belfast is like, there's nothing remarkable about it, which is kind of nice. But I'd say for screenplay, I think it's Paul Thomas Anderson's year. I think he'll win for this, if anything, definitely. So yeah, even above Power of the Dog, I wouldn't be surprised if Power of the Dog won, but yeah, Licorice Pizza. Although knowing the Globes, they could fuck it up and just give it to Kenneth Branagh.
Rob?
Yeah, absolutely. P.T. Anderson. I'm a huge P.T. Anderson fan.
Do you
That's
think
that's not just because I'm a big fan of his, but because he is an astounding writer of screenplays.
he is very good?
Yeah, that it's got to go to him.
Do you think they? Go ahead, Phil.
I don't think I don't have a choice. I don't really care, but I just don't want Don't Look Up to win.
I would.
There is no screenplay.
Yeah. I do think that they took for granted that it's like, oh, Don't Look Up and Being the Ricardos will be accepted by everyone, and then they're just the two
star power
biggest critical disappointments of the year. That honestly, I could see their quality not being good a mile away were it not for the names attached to them, which I feel is the only reason they got nominated.
Yeah, it's weird because you'd think that they would review these things first, then decide who the nominees are, rather than just throwing nominees that you think might get it before you even get to view the freaking film.
I'd argue that they read the name Aaron Sorkin. Oh, he wrote a script. Okay, put him in there as a nomination, but
Just
nobody
like
has
they do
watched
with-
it yet to realize how meandering the story is.
Just like they do with Meryl Streep.
Yep.
Uh,
Good point.
Yeah.
Best director in a motion picture: Kenneth Branagh. Did I do this one already?
No.
Okay, good. Kenneth Branagh, Jane Campion, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Steven Spielberg, Dennis Villeneuve.
New Zealander, I think.
Pardon?
Jane Campion, because she's a New Zealander.
Campion. Okay.
Yeah. So
Won't remember that.
Villeneuve isn't going to win because of the Dune Part 2 argument that Rob made earlier. Although I
still think he's going to win.
He with the lineup of like they have a date set for Dune 2, and then but Denis Villeneuve's already talking about doing like another movie. Do you guys worry that it's like, what if he's already exhausted by Dune 1 and kind of like phones it in it Chapter 2 style?
I feel like he phoned it in on the first one.
The majority of Dune 2 has already been filmed, and it was
no, it hasn't
filmed,
been,
not gone into.
It hasn't been filmed yet.
No,
it has been filmed.
I'm looking this up, but I'm telling you it. I'm
certain they don't want to say it because they don't want people to know that, hey, we've already put all of our fucking eggs in this basket. But just knowing from how much money it would cost to go out to the same locations, George Lucas already effectively said this when he was filming Attack of the Clones. He was like, we're in the desert, so all of the shit that we had to do for episode 3, we already did during episode 2, because it is a humongous waste of money to go back out there again.
But they didn't know that it was going to be a hit, so they didn't greenlight the second movie right away, which is why it was a surprise. I'm telling you, Rob, that you're wrong on this. That they haven't.
Lord of the Rings thing, they filmed it all together.
They haven't. No,
Rob
they haven't,
cannot be wrong.
They didn't greenlight the second movie. Like they didn't greenlight the second movie until the first one came out.
They can film it, but it won't go into post-production. And now
I'm telling you, it hasn't been filmed. You're wrong, Rob. It hasn't been filmed. I'm delighted to say that for the first time, you're on this podcast. You're completely wrong.
One thing I will say that's different for you guys. My head looks extremely red.
Look, he changes the subject when he gets wrong. See that completely.
We're so off topic.
I'm worried that it makes me look angrier than I am, and I'm not angry. But my head is extremely.
Stop being so angry and get back to the topic.
Okay. I love how this starts because Phil is the only one who thinks it's gonna win, and then me and Rob managed to start an argument.
Isn't that weird? You guys love this freaking stupid ass movie.
I don't. I mean, it's in my top 5, but it's been a slow year. And all the movies I haven't seen, I'm
only picking it because it's gonna win.
Best director though is what we're talking about. I think Jane Campion could win. Have you seen The Lost Daughter yet?
I have not. Nope.
My mom watched it, said it was good and interesting, but she didn't remark anything about like interesting story decisions. And just
you weren't able to see West Side Story yet, have you?
Yeah, and Spielberg's just in this list because he made a movie.
Yeah.
No, I actually think, and this is the thing that works against, and people, like somebody said, so like Steven Spielberg made his best movie in 20 years, and nobody's going to talk about how great it is. I think he's like, people, as usual, think he got in because he's Spielberg, but he actually put in the work, and I actually bet he directed this movie really well. It's just people are thinking he's getting in because of Spielberg. He's made it like notable, but he's been snubbed so many times, weirdly though, in the last couple years, like he was nominated for like Lincoln and stuff, but it's like Spielberg has a weird history where he got snubbed most of the 1980s doing like great work like Jaws and stuff like that, and then he wins for Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, which is deserved, but he doesn't win Best Picture, which he should have, and then he gets like not nominated for like a decade except for Munich, I think, and then he gets nominated for Lincoln, and then The Post gets Best Picture. So it's like, I don't know, it's just weird where he's just been nominated in the wrong places, but I think he deserves a spot here. I think he could definitely win, but I think they'll just give it to Jane Campion.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's going to go to Jane Campion.
Or Branagh, because, they love white people.
Branagh's won before. He's won for a lot of his... He hasn't won Best Picture, but he's won a bunch of awards for his Shakespearean stuff. So I think it's absolutely going to go to Jane Campion because she's been talked about with the movie she made before, Power of the Dog, and this one. They'll just be like, "Oh, got to give it to a girl. Give it to her."
Yeah.
I think maybe West Side Story will win, but I think Dune's going to.
This is director, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I meant sorry. Villeneuve will probably win it. Spielberg could win it.
You guys think that there's a reluctance though to give it to Spielberg? I do.
So do I.
Because they're like, oh, well, we don't want to reward. It's like that thing with Tom Hanks. Like Tom Hanks, like won back-to-back Best Actors. And then it's like, because he won back-to-back Best Actors, they didn't give him when he was head and shoulders when he did Castaway and was head and shoulders above all of the nominees. It's one of the best performances of like the 21st century. And they didn't give it to him because it's like, well, he won recently. Yep. And then he was great. I found Captain Phillips extremely boring. But he's extremely moving in that movie and doesn't get nominated. And then they throw him a bone and nominate him as Mr. Rogers. But it's like that situation where it's like, well, we don't want him to be too good, which is just stupid. Like if they're good, they're good.
Best performance by an actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Ben Affleck.
Sorry, just interrupted. This is the only one where I legitimately, there's 3 roles that I'm like, or sorry, 2 roles where I'm like, my fuck, both of them are really good. And am I going to have a hard time deciding?
Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar, Jamie Dornan for Belfast, Kieran Hines for Belfast, Troy Kutzer for Coda, and Cody Smith McPhee for The Power of the Dog.
I want to see Cody Smith McPhee win here. Like I'm like I like Power of the Dog. I like Coda. I like Belfast. Haven't seen The Tender Bar, but I liked Ben Affleck's role. I know you don't agree with in The Last Duel, and I liked him in The Accountant. And I think he's on a bit of a hot streak here. He's getting nominated because he's buddy with George Clooney and Hollywood Foreign Press and how that operates. I hear he's great in this movie, but how many times has the uncle mentor figure been rewarded? Like, don't care to see him win. Like, I'd rather see them be brave and nominate a polarizing role like him as the Count in this. But nonetheless, I'll go for Cody Smith McPhee is who I want to win. I'm worried they'll probably just give it to Troy Kotsur for being deaf. I have no idea how hard of a role it was to play, but like his character irritated me so much. He's smelly. Of course, he's playing a fisherman, but he looks greasy. He has obnoxiously loud sex with Marley Matlin in the movie, and his father seems frankly like an idiot for how much they depend on their child and are completely fucked without it. So I'd say I want to see Cody Smith McPhee win, and who I think is going to win, we might see. Can you guys see the inside line of like Power of the Dog actually sweeping for all it's nominated for?
Definitely could. The only one I don't think it's going to win with his Best Actress, but I can see it sweeping a couple of
yeah.
But and especially considering the Golden Globe scandal from Emily in Paris, that was Netflix. They sent everybody a record vinyl for like what was that? Black and White Roma. Like, so if they win, it wouldn't be surprising. I really don't think Jamie Dornan does the heavy lifting of like he's likable now. I like that he's found his lane, and I hear that he's great. And Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, but like he's not even on the level of Ben Affleck as an actor acting capability. Kieran Hines is good. This is not like any of his great roles like Mance Rayder. He's just as good in Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life than he is here, which is good.
Terror than he is in this.
He's better in what?
The TV show, The Terror.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of that too. But yeah, Cody Smith McPhee I'll go for both.
Yeah, it's a hard choice between Kieran Hines and Cody Smith McPhee. But if I was forced to it's by a hair's width by Cody Smith McPhee, because I think that actor was going with the ideology, just his actor's choice was that he was a murderer by the end of that movie. And I really like that actor's choice because I don't think it was expected. Yeah. But Cody Smith McPhee deserves it, but Troy Kotsur is going to win because he's deaf.
I feel bad us saying that.
So do I. And I hate that that's a reality. I'm sure he's a wonderfully good actor. I've never seen Coda. Maybe he is heads and tails better than Cody Smith McPhee. And if that was the case, then I would absolutely go for him. But I feel like they will say, okay, he's the choice because he's deaf. Why is it amazing to watch a deaf person do this? And I think that's unfair.
I will say, on thinking back from it in terms of supporting actors, it kind of goes against the grain in terms of like how many supporting actors are well realized. But all of the characters here, like I didn't even know Peter Gordon was his name in Power of the Dog, Cody Smith McPhee. As far as realized characters, Troy Kotsur is playing the most realized character. Like you feel that this dad who's a fisherman feels this way, is weak about this, is stubborn about that, is the most realized character, but they don't give out character awards. In terms of performance, it'd be one of those where I'd have to see him in something else to know for sure. But I'd give it to Cody Smith. Supporting actress next, or what
about best performance by an actress?
Who are you going to go to for best supporting?
I don't care.
Okay.
Best performance by an actress in a supporting role in any motion picture.
Katrina Balfe, sorry. Belfast as Ma. Ariana DeBose, West Side Story as Anita. Kirsten Dunst, The Power of the Dog as Rose Gordon. Anjanou Ellis, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. King Richard as Oracene Brandy Price. Ruth Negga in Passing as Claire Ballou. I haven't seen Passing. I hear great things about Ruth Negga. She's a pretty good actress. They're all pretty good. I'd say Kirsten is the weak one, but she has a great agent. Well, I'd also say Katrina, but I haven't seen, Outlander.
Yeah, I thought Katrina ran away with fucking Belfast. She was spectacular in it.
I felt it, but if you think about the role, like it's kind of like there are Oscar-worthy roles. So like I feel that a lot of women could have done what she did, which is look pretty but be vulnerable. And I love the scene where she threatens the kid of like, if you ever take him into this again, I'll kill you. And she makes him put it back, and it's pretty good. But it's nothing where I'm like, another good actress couldn't have done that. I hear Ariana DeBose, even though annoyingly she was in Prom last year, and just because she's super hot and young, and we're starving for stars, people are like, she's a star, she's gonna do it. But I hear she's like great in the role. Like she's across the board, appears at every list. The person who I think I'd like to see, even though the tired wife thing is kind of overdone, is Ingenue Ellis. Because did you see King Richard, Rob?
No, I won't.
There's a scene in the middle of King Richard where she tells Will Smith off, and the whole movie has been Will Smith's show this entire time, to its benefit and detriment. And it's a moment where you're like, whoa, who is this actor? They're like blowing Will Smith out of the water. It's like that kind of moment. So I'd like to see that.
I felt that way about an actress in something we're going to cover next week, Station 11.
It better not be Mackenzie Davis.
It's the black woman who goes off to.
Oh yeah, she's good. Yeah, in that episode 3.
When she goes off, like she goes off in the boardroom.
Yeah.
That got me. So that was good.
Yeah, I'm typically not a fan of Oscar bait movies, and King Richard reeks of Oscar bait. So I totally avoid Oscar bait movies.
Yeah,
I think the only movie I saw this year that was Oscar bait is very obviously Belfast, but no interest in King Richard at all. No interest in Will Smith, no interest in Richard.
I like it when people who aren't nominated, and so everybody but Ruth Negga really hasn't been nominated for any of these awards before. Kirsten, because she's just not as strong of an actress. I hate to keep bashing her, but like she's not as she's very likable. I like, growing up with her and seeing her in movies all this time, and good for her. I hear Ariana DeBose is like great, so I'm super excited for her performance, but I'd have to I don't know. It's like if Katrina won, I'd be like, okay, but it's like in terms of supporting heavy lifting, I'd give it to Ingenue Ellis, because that role did not need to be good, and she brought something extra to it, and I think it will be recognized.
Rob.
Yeah, Katrina Belf.
Also affirmative action on part of the Hollywood Foreign Press.
I don't think we have any weight on the next one, because none of us have seen any of them.
Best motion picture, non-English language.
Has anybody seen any of these?
No.
Oh, best foreign film. I haven't seen any of them. The ones that I keep hearing about, well, actually, Hand of God is available on Netflix. I want to see all of these because I haven't seen The Great Beauty, but that director is well renowned. I really want to see Drive My Car, just when I hear that it's a 3-hour long movie called Drive My Car, for one thing. And it's like, from what I like, the reputation of it is that it's a masterpiece. So I'm really excited to say it. I'll just say Drive My Car. Hand of God is like another good one by that director. I think it's Paulo Sorrentino, another acclaimed one. Parallel Mothers, same deal with Pedro Almodovar. You can never tell if it's like, because he does it. You got to respect the hustle of like Pedro Volver, Pain and Glory, The Skin I Live In. Like every single time he does something that pretty much like out of nowhere, and maybe they have a bias for him, but like forces its way into the conversation. Mm-hmm. So like good for Pedro. Respect the hustle. It's going to be Drive My Car. Although a hero, again, same thing with Asghar Farhadi. It's like he does really great stuff. He'll go down as like a legend and an icon, but yeah, Drive My Car.
I like Janus Films as a company. Sony, Amazon, and Netflix can blow me, so I'm going to go Drive My Car just because it's distributed by Janus Films.
If they blow me, I'll vote for them. Best motion picture animated.
I just want to say I'm surprised that The Worst Person in the World didn't make it, because that was the other one where I heard people talking great stuff about. It's kind of like Tony Erdmann from a few years ago. I get that vibe from it, but I haven't seen Tony Erdmann.
Why didn't Don't Look Up get in there? I just don't understand.
For best foreign language film?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Because they had already exhausted their awards budget on it.
The whole movie is another language that I just don't want to figure out.
Is it called Illuminati?
Best motion picture animated: Encanto, Flea, Luca, My Sunny Maud, Raya the Last Dragon.
Raya, yeah. I hated Raya. I hated Encanto. I haven't seen Luca.
Those are obvious throw-ins for a certain demographic.
Yep.
Yeah. Flea, I keep seeing on people's best of list. It's an animated documentary in a foreign language. And yet I see it at the top of every list. I'm just choosing Flea because I hate it when they choose Pixar now. Like, it's after Toy Story 3, you could pretty much look at that as their crowning achievement in terms of like animation and capability. And then ever since then, it's kind of been undeserved, them getting nominated just because they flooded the market and, you know, use all their rendering farms so no one else can get in. I kind of wanted Wolfwalkers to win last year. I'm not sure if it did win the Golden Globe, but yeah, I'll go for Flea. I want Flea to win. I'm just putting all my willpower into that is what I'll say. You guys?
I hope Luca wins, mainly because two of the other movies that were voted both wanted to be Luca and failed miserably. Those are
Encanto really like drops the. Did you watch Encanto or no? You said no.
I've already seen Luca, so there's no reason for me to watch Encanto, a movie that's trying to be Luca.
But it's in Colombia compared to or Puerto Rico. It's kind of vague. Wherever John Leguizamo is from, because he's in it. But yeah. I was excited. I thought that Encanto was going to be really good, and then it wasn't. But like Luca, and I said this too, and I include them both in this criticism, is like I'm so tired, Raya as well, of like Disney's world culture tour of like, oh, we're doing a movie on this culture now. Like next up is they're doing about Asian Canadian in Toronto, and that's the next Pixar movie comes out in March called Seeing Red, and it's like I'm so tired of this. Like we're just gonna do this culture and that's gonna be it. So yeah. What do you think, Phil?
I vote Luca. I don't care either.
My nephew has seen it a bunch.
Best performance by an actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy: Leonardo DiCaprio, Peter Dinklage, Andrew Garfield, Cooper Hoffman, Anthony Ramos.
So I didn't like In the Heights at all. I don't mind Anthony Ramos. He was good enough, even though it's like too small a role in Star is Born. But everybody was good in A Star is Born.
Are you going to go crazy over Cyrano, or did you watch it yet?
I haven't been able to see it because for puzzling reasons, United Artists Releasing is not putting it out, even in limited release, until January the 21st.
So how does this make sense?
Yeah. What?
How does it make sense that it's on the Golden Globes is dumb?
Well, I just hate it anytime when it's like, okay, all of these movies are nominated and it all comes down to the end of the year when all these movies get crammed in and no civilian has been able to see it at all.
Because they want the hype at the time, but if things don't, like, if you don't get to see it, oh well.
So yeah, so it's like, here's what's annoying. I don't mind Andrew Garfield at all. I don't think he deserved like to win the nomination he got for Hacksaw Ridge, even though he's like quite good. You can always see him visibly like sweating, putting in the effort. I don't even think that this tops his performance in The Social Network, but of what I've seen, I would have to give it to Andrew Garfield. But I'd love to see Peter Dinklage just win. And
not Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, that's like that's like a sketch performance. It's not good. It's not.
That's like Don't Look Up, Phil. That joke's getting old.
I don't care.
So now you know what Adam McKay was saying behind the camera. Adam, this joke's getting old. I don't care.
It's annoying to me because Leonardo DiCaprio is probably what you'd call an actor's director, where it's like he can be directed. You can tell him to say a line and he'll say it that way. And, you know, as opposed to Jessica Chastain, where she said the interesting thing where she's like, I do all the work beforehand. I'm super prepared, like Daniel Day-Lewis. I know my character. I know the way that I'm going to say it. Samuel L. Jackson too, where Leonardo DiCaprio, he can say it this way, and he will. So it's like a wasted performance because I'm sure Leonardo DiCaprio still got it. It's just like, this is just like they paid for this award. It's completely undeserved. There are better actors who could have gone there.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen Will Smith there because Will Smith is putting in more effort than Leonardo DiCaprio's wasted performance here. I'd like to see Peter Dinklage win. I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, with Game of Thrones and stuff getting love, I wouldn't be surprised if he won. And then everybody's like, oh, we got to see Cyrano now, even though inevitably it won't be as good as his reputation. Cooper Hoffman, I don't know, do you really think he's going to be that good, or is it just people looking up like the son surpasses the father kind of thing? Let's make this happen.
I think they need more nominations for Licorice Pizza. Go with him.
Yeah, I'll say Dinklage is my pick. Phil?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Are you serious?
No.
Do you think that's a good
No, I don't think. No.
Oh, but it's who will win.
No.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I would love to see that. Honestly, I would be like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" But I would love to see if they win on anything. I would just be like, mind is broken.
Mm-hmm. Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Phil.
No, I haven't seen any of this. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna say Andrew Garfield because I like his performances in general. But
what a good year for him,
base it off of.
Like
Andrew Garfield deserves it for Silence, which he didn't win an award for.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
But DiCaprio's going to get it.
Yeah, but you know what the problem with Silence was? Aside from it being so boring, I couldn't finish it. I got 20 minutes, and I'll finish it someday because I feel as a Catholic, it's my duty. And
Silence is one of the recent Scorsese movies that I really enjoyed. It's far better than The Irishman. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah. What bothers me is that, and that was more of a passion project. Silence was more of a passion project for him than The Irishman. The Irishman is like, yeah, I'd like to get this made, but he only ever put in a half effort. And then when it got locked at some point, whereas Silence, he'd been wanting to make it since, you know, that was like his religious trilogy and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Silence again had the problem of, let's wait to the very fucking end of the year so that nobody can fucking see this movie. And then it makes $3 million. Nobody watches it. And it's relegated to being a joke on Ted Lasso when they're going through Martin Scorsese's best movies. And like they get all rowdy, and then Brett Goldstein is like, silence, like tell everybody to be quiet. But as a cap to Martin Scorsese's movies.
Best performance by an actress in a motion picture, musical or comedy. Marion Cotillard.
Cotillard.
Cotillard?
Cotillard. Yeah.
Cotillard.
Okay. Alana Haim.
Alana Haim, yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence, Emma Stone, Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this year is finally the year that people are collectively fucking over Jennifer Lawrence. The best description
It took a 3-year break.
This is awful.
For Lawrence is that she is like a little kid dressing up with adults to play on TV shows. She's a terrible actress. She's a fucking horrible person. She needs to go away.
Oh no, a new Adam Sandler.
She's not as bad as Adam Sandler because she did one good fucking movie and it was called
X-Men.
Bone. Lovely Bones. Winter's Bone. Great movie. She's great in Winter's Bone because you really believe her character in Winter's Bone.
I'll have to see it. I haven't seen it.
She's from Kentucky, plays a Kentucky name.
Ever since fucking stinks.
I have no
idea.
Hollywood got a hold of her too soon.
I think it's that she's a shit actress.
Hype.
She managed to get into a hyped up movie and she's somehow pretended to people that she's a good actress. I mean, she is the worst fucking part. When you watch that great American Hustle movie by
David O. Russell.
David O. Russell. She's the worst part of it. Every time
she was the best.
She sucks every time she shows up, she sucks all the fucking air out of the room.
I know, but that's like the character that she's playing is supposed to suck up all the air out of the room.
Hate her. I think she's a terrible actress, terrible person.
So every time she plays anything, that's what she's supposed to be. Like,
as far as bad Jennifer Lawrence movies go,
punch her in the fucking face.
as far as bad Jennifer Lawrence roles go, I'd say that like she was miscast as Mystique, and it was kind of a coup that she happened to be famous later on. But she was incredibly miscast. I just don't think somebody who trips at back-to-back Oscars is like worthy enough to be Mystique. But that's
So
what
who will
okay.
win, guys?
Those movies aren't good enough anyway. I think that Rachel Zegler is going to win this one. I don't want Alana Haim to win this because I don't like singers who are doing their thing part-time to win. There's something like, I think that maybe they probably knew or had connections to it. Also, I do like how Licorice Pizza is like a story about ugly people. A love story about ugly people. That's nice. But yeah, I don't like it, like, because every single sentence about her is like Alana Haim, who's in the band Haim, and it's like, yeah, but like, what about the like? It's one of those where people talking about the buzziness surrounding the performance clouds what actual performance judgment is. I mean, it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. There aren't many bad actors. Can you think of a bad performance even in Inherent Vice? Like everybody's
No, it's just a boring movie.
decent in the movie. It's just as I read, he adapted the book, wrote it out as an entire book, and then cut things down. So it's like super disjointed. But yeah, here I'd like to see Rachel Zegler win, and I think that she might win. Out of the nominees, she's the best. Cruella DeVille, Emma Stone. I like Emma Stone. The makeup for it is fantastic. I think blame Craig Gillespie as a director. It's just, I don't like his direction. I don't think Cruella DeVille is very good. Like there's not a lot of character there actually that I was expecting. Like I was expecting her to make Cruella into a person, or at least an iconic vampy performance, and it kind of splits the difference and does none of that.
I feel like it was forgotten. Like people didn't care.
It was successful, and Disney greenlit it because they had nothing else to greenlight that year for a sequel. So they're like,
I didn't think it was within the year.
Yeah, it came out in May. That's why it's nominated this year.
Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Rachel Zegler is going to win. Has the most acclaimed performance here. Alana Haim is like the second, although you never know. Alana Haim might like impress and be amazing, but I'd like to give it to Rachel Zegler because she comes out of nowhere in terms of being nominated. Now she's gonna, similar to Ariana DeBose, just because Steven Spielberg has done the work of like casting, like remember he cast Adam Driver in Lincoln, and then everybody started using Adam Driver afterwards. Like whoever he chooses to work with, he chooses an unknown person who's not like related to anybody famous, unlike Haim. And yeah, I think that from what I hear, she's like really great. Although, Marion Cotillard won, it's like, okay.
Rob?
Marion Cotillard deserves it. Emma Stone's going to win it.
You saw Annette?
Really?
Yep. It's good. And it's good?
Yes, I enjoyed it. I enjoy Maria Cotillard. I think she's a wonderful actress.
She's great. I've been really meaning to see what was that one that she won for, where she had played Edith Piaf, La Vie en Rose. I hear it's like one of the best acted roles of the century. For me, her best performance was 2 Days, One Night, where I was just like, oh, you felt exhausted when the character felt exhausted, and it's a great transition for the character. So yeah, she's great, very enchanting. She's both movie star and actress, so in her own way underrated.
I think Zegler's going to win. I'm looking forward to watching West Side Story.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to Best Motion Picture for musical or comedy.
This is the one year I was thinking of where there are more musicals than comedies. That's a first.
Cyrano, Don't Look Up.
I feel like last year or 2 years ago with that fucking terrible La La Land, there was more musicals.
Oh yeah, because
still haven't watched that.
But that wasn't. Yeah. Yeah.
I like Greatest Showman. I was enthralled.
It's perfect mediocrity. Its songs are so great.
Yes.
And the rest of the movie happens.
You're kind of right there. But I enjoyed it. Best Motion Picture, musical or comedy. Cyrano, Don't Look Up. Licorice Pizza, Tick Tick Boom, West Side Story.
This seems like from the outset, it seems like an obvious Licorice Pizza is going to win, because it's basically what movie can the Hollywood Foreign Press fudge into the comedy category this year that will sweep. But West Side Story came out this year, and by all
Yeah.
accounts, West Side Story is like good.
It's supposed to be great. Yeah.
I like Tick Tick Boom, but it was good because I hadn't seen much this year. As far as Lin-Manuel Miranda's direction goes, it's a good start. Nowhere near like a top tier best of the year quality directing. So it doesn't really deserve to win. Happy to see it there because it's an amiable enough movie. But I think West Side Story, if only Cyrano was like as good as I want it to be. Like when I watched Anna Karenina, I was like, oh, what a great concept. What a great idea. And then Joe Wright just can't ever execute really on the level. All of his movies start off exciting and then aren't. So I'll choose West Side Story. And if West Side Story does it, I don't know. I want to see it because then I think that they'll put it on Disney Plus or something. Because it's like, oh, we got something here. Like it's not just it came out, failed to make money, and then is gone. We'll wait and collect later, but we'll see. But I think West Side Story will probably win runner-up Licorice Pizza. But
Rob.
Licorice Pizza deserves it, but because West Side Story will get asses in.
How can you say that if you haven't seen Licorice Pizza, though?
Same reason that I know West Side Story is going to win, because West Side Story, they'll be able to bring the musical back. Disney will be able to put money into that musical. They'll be able to get money out of it. West Side Story is a bankroll. That's why it's going to win. Licorice Pizza deserves it.
What do you mean by bankroll? Because the movie, like, it's lost $70 million that it's not getting back.
They need more money.
It's going to make that back in they'll bring back the stage show of it, of course.
It's already back.
Disney will have more of a hand in it. And not to mention the merchandising they'll get out of it. You'll get no merchandising out of Licorice Pizza, but look forward to seeing West Side Story in Spencer's and Hot Topic and all that shit.
Yeah, West Side Story is going to win this, no doubt. I'm going to go back to the joke. I really want Don't Look Up to win just because.
It'd be fun to watch.
There will be a terrorist attack if Don't Look Up wins, because it's kind of an interesting. Part of me wants to have the discussion on Hollywood schisms of like, this is a movie that like 50% of the people have still bought into, even though it's terrible. So you actually like Don't Look Up, Phil? Or
no, this is the joke. Like I think it'd be hilarious to see.
He keeps on doing this same joke that's not good. That's the same way that
Rob, you need a hug.
Same joke that's
you need a hug and you need kisses.
I know award shows aren't important, but I don't want to reward a bad movie ever. But part of me also wants to, because our society has been split up ever since.
You don't want to reward a bad movie and you think fucking Shakespeare in Love was a good one?
No, I'm saying after the fact, when you have to deal with the reality that it won and you look at it, it's not exactly a Razzie movie. I'm kind of like, but you know, that might be because Shakespeare in Love won that we have to deal with shit like this. Definitely. Part of me wants everybody to wake up and we can have the conversation on how split audiences are. And it's like critics can't get their act together. Like the amount of people who think that, like I've seen TikToks where people are like, oh, everybody's crazy. Don't Look Up is actually secretly an amazing movie. And it's like these bizarre takes. Same with like Last Jedi, even though I could say that Last Jedi like earned, like there are parts of it that are really well made, a lot of cuts that work, but part of me wants to have the conversation where it's like, okay, we are no longer on the same page as a society onto what's good and what's bad.
I also think that you guys are not cynical enough to see what that is for what it really is. That is not any young person or any regular person saying, you know what, Don't Look Up is actually a really good movie. That is, to me, completely planted, complete bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's pandering to the.
But it's all the TikToks, all the TikToks are from people who are like, you know, they have established followings and stuff that I'm sure people are like, oh, and it drives me nuts how people are like that. People are saying a good movie is good when it isn't. Like I can't point to anything.
That's why a movie like Licorice Pizza doesn't win, and a movie like West Side Story does.
How many of these people were paid to do that?
There's people whose entire fucking job is just to
push things. Yeah.
I will say in that case, I hope that Licorice Pizza wins then, because maybe it will mean more for the industry. Also, United Artists releasing.
Hoping in one hand and shitting in the other.
Yeah.
Best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama. Marshala Ali for Swan Song. Javier Bardem being the Ricardos.
No.
Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog.
Oh,
Will Smith for King Richard, and Denzel Washington
no.
for a movie that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it comes out next week on Apple TV Plus.
Stupid.
I'm super excited to watch that Tragedy Macbeth.
I want to see it. I want to see Macbeth.
I saw that.
I really want to see Macbeth, and I get more excited the more that I wait. I'm in Denzel. It's funny, it came really late to me where Roman J. Israel Esquire, I saw that he was nominated for that movie and he campaigned heavily. And then I watched it. I went in with super low expectations because I did not like Nightcrawler. And like halfway through, I'm like, okay, like this is actually some of the best work Denzel has done. Like bringing a character to life from the ground up, having his own tics and stuff. So Denzel always gives a worthy performance. His most phoned in one would probably be, I don't know, The Magnificent Seven. And even then it's still an okay performance.
I'd say those Equalizer movies. That's probably the most fun I've ever seen Denzel be.
But I love seeing him as a badass. Like there's nobody I enjoy more who's both having a good time, but still sort of present in the scene.
I prefer Denzel the same way I prefer Boba Fett, going back to our fucking review from before. He's great when he's a flawed character. He's great as who he is in Glory. He's great who he is in fucking Training Day.
What about John Q? Because John Q is an interesting,
great one, John Q. But he's a flawed character, and I just think he's much better as that role.
So who's going to win, guys?
Perfect Denzel character?
I'm hoping Macbeth. So for me, absolutely.
Denzel in himself, just not an actor, just him. The person. Perfect. There you go.
What about you?
So as soon as I watched Swan Song, because even though the Golden Globes are corrupt, them being like, oh, that's a movie I haven't seen. Oh, this is, and then I saw the preview for it. I'm like, oh, this seems like an interesting premise. There's a good scene in Swan Song where it's basically about a guy who's going to die. So he clones himself or goes into a program to clone himself. And then the way they outline the premise is that they both fight for his life. There's a really good scene where he's in his house and runs into his double, and the kind of grace that character drums up in that moment is nice, but it's what we've seen from Mahershala for like every performance he's ever given. My dad is like, okay, yeah, he's doing the same like holier than thou kind of graceful person who like walks on water kind of performance, even though he's playing like he's not even really a super flawed character, but like, yeah, Javier Bardem just miscast from the beginning. Great actor. They both do okay jobs in being the Ricardos, like the best they can, despite the fact that they're incredibly miscast. Like they don't phone it in, but it's just like terrible choice by Aaron Sorkin, just fucking shit up. Like knock it off, Aaron Sorkin, if you're watching this. Benedict, it's the juiciest, buzziest role. He could win. He's probably like,
thank you.
Him or Will Smith. It's going to be funny if Will Smith wins.
I think it's going to Will Smith personally.
Really?
But then after everybody's stamped out the Hollywood foreign press, is Will Smith going to show up? You think?
I think it's going to him, and it's all hype for Will Smith to win.
Yeah,
I think Denzel's going to win.
It'd be fun. I would love so badly.
I think it's hype for the movie coming out.
For Denzel to beat Will Smith in this category would be so satisfying to me, because it's like him making a big deal. Like, I know he never like necessarily said anything, but there was a big deal made that, Will Smith is playing an actual person. And it's like such a transparent Oscar attempt. And then Denzel Washington like comes in limited release, makes Macbeth. With
Denzel Washington is the actor that Will Smith wishes he could be.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree 100%. So I think that'd be hilarious. I'd love for Denzel, because Denzel is like stealthily, like I mentioned earlier about Roman J. Israel, like a good campaigner. And I know that he would show up here and he'd make his speech and then he'd move on and gun for the Oscar. Which he's done enough work where it's like he might really be the best acted. Like I'm seeing 10 out of 10s across the board from Macbeth. And I didn't like the last Macbeth.
Do you think Denzel would show up and then make a comment or a speech about what's going on?
I don't think so.
I can see him saying something
he was
sly.
the guy that won when Sidney Poitier came up and got his Lifetime Award, it was Denzel Washington that won that same year. So I think Denzel's been in that seat before. I can't see him saying anything about it again.
But he made like with Tom Hanks when he won the Cecil B. DeMille Award, which God, I'd just get rid of. But like when he made that thing in his speech, which was a good speech, a long speech, Tom Hanks made about Stellan Skarsgård's eyebrows. That was just like something that he picked it up and threw into his speech off the cuff, because it's like that's what great actors do. I can see like when his training day speech, when he's like, I've been chasing Sydney all my life and he finally beat me to it tonight again. You know, I can see him making some kind of sly remark of just like,
I wonder if they'll play it that Will Smith wins the Golden Globe, Denzel Washington wins the Oscar, or vice versa, right? Denzel wins the Golden Globe.
If that's the case, I'd love to see Smith win the Globe and then see Smith lose the Oscar. That'd be hilarious.
Best
I
performance
love Will Smith, but I'm not sure what you guys think of him. I love Will Smith. I'm glad that he got this movie made. I don't think anybody else could have gotten this movie made except for Will Smith. So it's like, maybe he deserves a producing nod for Best Picture for King Richard. I really did enjoy the movie. His performance is not it at all.
I'm sure Will Smith is a fine person, but as an actor, he needs to stay in the Independence Day category and not get out of it.
Because he's great in I Am Legend, and he's okay, and he's even good in Hitch. He's even good in Focus. He's good in Men in Black. He's fantastic.
But in Men in Black,
Hancock,
he's the same action role that he is in his other movies. I like him in that. I like him in the action role thing. I don't like him to get out of his lane. Like Pursuit of
I think star power counts for something when it comes to acting, though, don't you?
What's that?
I think that star power counts for something when it comes to acting, though, of like being somebody who is like Jack Nicholson, like adding a presence of understanding to that character. But then again, this Denzel Washington conversation, Denzel does that where he's Denzel, but him being Denzel informs the character of Macbeth or something like that. So yeah, I see what you mean.
Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama: Jessica Chastain, Olivia Colman, Nicole Kidman, Lady Gaga, and Kristen Stewart.
Now, I'd like to see Olivia Colman win here, even though she's won before. The odds are against her, but she's the only person like Princess Diana, Lucille Ball, a murderer, and a fraud. It's like she's the only one who made a real, a fictional character from the ground up. Give it to her, because that's a lot of acting, and it's like subtle. And from what I hear from her, she's good. Lady Gaga, it's mugging. I'm sure it's a funny performance. Don't want to see it. Nicole Kidman, good. Totally miscast. It's not gonna get there. And the character isn't even written with a lot of depth. Like she's written like Lucy Ricardo.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's hey, be Lucille Ball.
Yeah. And it's annoying because Nicole Kidman was ready to play like a deeper version of this character. Like you can tell that she recognizes the enormity of this, and Nicole Kidman does that well, even though she looks super plastic now, which bothers me. I think Kristen Stewart is going to win. I really don't want to see her win, just because I hate that our standard of acting now is like, let's see this real person. I'm glad The Eyes of Tammy Faye flopped. Again, I really like Jessica Chastain. I'm sure she does a great job, and she deserves to win an Oscar one day. But I hate looking at somebody like Tammy Faye, who is like a fraud, and it's like, well, they were a victim the whole time, and it's totally uncritical of its subject. It's like the same thing. The reason why I'm glad that Margot Robbie didn't win for Tonya Harding, because I hate Tonya Harding as a person. And seeing this whole like victim by way of female empowerment angle, which is kind of sexist and misogynistic in its own way, of like, oh, these women are heroes because they were trapped by men, rather than owning the terrible decisions that they made.
Not to mention they flesh out the women in those roles, and the men are just fucking 2 lines. Oh, he drinks a lot and beats her up the end.
Yeah. What do you think, Phil?
I don't have one in this one. Rob?
Do you have one in anyone? Is one of
I told you a lot of these movies I haven't even seen, so I can't.
I mean, I haven't either, but it's like,
for me, I always choose, when I haven't seen them, I choose who I like from other roles that they haven't been nominated for, that they deserved it. And for me in this case, honestly, I'm not going to vote for her, but Kristen Stewart delivers a good performance in Spencer. Probably her best performance of anything I've ever seen her in. Was
that a layup though? Because to me, it was a layup.
I don't think so. I think she did a good role, but similar to Jackie, this director's another movie he's made. It's a boring fucking movie, and I think that's what's going to keep her from in that movie itself from being nominated. No, Olivia Colman deserves it for The Father, where I don't believe she won for The Father. She was spectacular in The Father. She was fucking spectacular in
The Favorite.
No, not Favorite. Lobster. I loved her. Lobster is a fun movie. I know a lot of people.
Who did she play in The Lobster? I can't even remember because I remember being surprised.
She plays, remember the girlfriend that he wants to get when he's in there. Rachel Weisz plays the girl that he goes to be with, but the girl that when she discovers that he was being nice to his brother who turned into a dog, she kicks the dog to death.
Mm-hmm.
That was the role she played in The Lobster.
Isn't it amazing that got a screenplay nomination?
I think it's a wonderful movie. I really like fucking Lobster. Yeah. But no, I'd like Olivia Colman to win it. Unfortunately, I think it's going to go to Lady Gaga because it's Lady Gaga.
I remember my mom said to me today, isn't it amazing how it's like Olivia Colman is in this? She's in The Lost Daughter and in that show Landscapers, and she's on The Crown. For the last time next year.
Wonderfully diverse actress.
And it's like, can you imagine being in like your 50s or close to 60? I'm not sure how old she is. She's 47. She's always looked older than she is. But can you imagine hitting that stride in your like late 40s as a career? That's just it's fantastic, I guess.
Best motion picture drama. Belfast, Coda, Dune, King Richard, and Power of the Dog.
I can see them like randomly giving it to Dune after like not awarding them all for the rest of the night, and then it's like, oh, Dune, yeah, that movie happened. Like they just decide to vote at the end. I think it bothers me because Coda is like,
and Dune goes to DVD release.
Coda is like a made for TV style movie. Like it's a made for TV quality movie that's very, very good. I really don't want it to win. It's right in the
what's it about?
It's about a child of deaf adults, and that's what Coda stands for. And it's a great premise where it's like, what if a child of a deaf adult was like a great singer and could never be heard, and she's depended on for how this family basically lives their life, which is kind of like irresponsible because you're like, well, how the heck did this happen? Like when she was like 3, but like she needs to move on from her parents and she wants to get into like Juilliard, and it's a very like simple heartstring story that it executes very well. The characters are all very well realized. It's just like there's no directorial flourishes. There's nothing new that you haven't seen here. It's just assembled very well.
So do you think they might give it to it just because the deaf thing? Like,
I wouldn't say. I always say it's never enough to be just special, to be just this. Like it also has to be good, and I think it's good enough to win in the eyes of the Hollywood foreign press. But I think they might give it to The Power of the Dog. Is really? What I think, and it would weirdly be deserved, but it's like I feel they'd give it to The Power of the Dog for the wrong reasons, because it's like, oh, it's about gayness and toxic masculinity and stuff, when really it's deserved because of the exploration of those themes. It's weird. I like the musical or comedy category is more exciting than the drama category, which is all boring movies. King Richard is probably the one that I, for entertainment purposes, enjoyed the most, even more than Belfast. Isn't it funny how Belfast is kind of like forgettable? Like I enjoyed it, and it's on my top 10. I think it's number 10. But Power of the Dog is my pick.
Yes, I think unfortunately Coda is too pandering. I think what's going to happen is whoever has to go up and win is going to say Coda is such a great movie, so incredible. They hope that deaf people can be seen more in the future, blah, blah, blah. But Coda's not going to win. Power of the Dog is not going to win because of toxic masculinity with gay men is already won Best Picture. It's called Brokeback Mountain. The movie that unfortunately is going to win is King Richard, because it's going to be left off everything else. And then King Richard is going to win Best Motion Picture Drama. So Will Smith is going to be up there with the whole team. Denzel Washington's going to win it for Macbeth for the Best Actor, but King Richard's going to win it for Best Picture.
I think Dune's going to get it, and I'm going to be disappointed.
I think Dune is going to suffer what Lord of the Rings did. Nominated 3 times and won at the last one because they were like, oh, fuck, fine, we'll just give it to Lord of the Rings. You know, I think that's what will happen with Dune. Whereas with Dune, they'll second one will win Best Picture or get totally forgotten about at the Oscars and Golden Globes. But no, I think it's going to King Richard.
Do you guys think that they're like, because I actually think it's like he's going to win for Hans Zimmer is going to win for score, and it's going to win like nothing else but be nominated for everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. For Dune, you're talking about for Oscars, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I think the only other thing it might win for is special effects.
I hate Dune. It's going to win.
Who do you want to win
out of this one? King Richard.
Ugh.
I haven't seen it, but I wanted to see it, and I just haven't yet.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, it was going to be one of our review topics, and then you guys were like, nah. And then I was like, okay.
I'll watch it, but I'm 95% certain, and I am always happy to be proven wrong. It looks like Oscar bait. It looks like
so you haven't seen King Richard, right? Yeah,
I've never seen it, but it looks like what was it called? The Imitation Game, Theory of Everything, Oscar bait. And that's what it looks like.
To me, Imitation Game is because it was written way before like Oscar came calling. It was on the blacklist for years, and it really is a great screenplay. I'd say that it transcends that, at least for Benedict.
The majority of it is complete bullshit, which might be the same with King Richard, right?
I think that I would fault that to the director of The Imitation Game, who Morton Tildum is he's not a good director. He did Passengers.
I fault that to the story writer because there's so much entrenched information in that movie that's wrong.
Well, ending it off, I'll tell you what. We'll King Richard will win Best Motion Picture, and then we'll review it, and then Rob will be like, I thought this movie was shit, but it's okay.
You know what we should do? I was thinking, it says we can download a PDF version of this. We should download it and fucking highlight the stuff we selected and see where we are at the end of it. Who gets the most?
Well, we have a video of it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing here?
But do a photo comparison of like what we picked and what won. And then we'll adjust it so it favors us.
I just love how we're the Hour of Sour podcast, and we're the hour and 46 minutes.
I knew we were
of sour.
But we
I just let it go. I don't care.
We reviewed this week.
Well, you know what? I could just like cut it in half and do one this week, one next week.
I like the bigness of it.
You just want it all in one go?
Yeah, because it's about the Golden Globes. We need to put it out before the Golden Globes.
That's true. Yeah.
You need to cut out all the parts where Will goes into detail about who should win. Just be like, all right, Will, go to you, and just have him say,
yeah. And then as soon as I talk,
just go to when he says the winner.
It cuts, and then it's like, and that's why I think that.
And then it becomes a 40-minute show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's me going, let me tell you why you're wrong. And then it cuts 5 minutes ahead and goes, that is why.
That'd be hilarious. Like, Phil, if you can go in and actually like cut out the whole thing, and then it's like both me and Rob about to talk, and then there's like it cuts to that, and then it's like, what do you think, Phil? And then Phil's just like, I haven't seen any.
I don't care. Yeah. Just cut your stuff out and say, I don't care.
With the Boba Vet review where I start fucking screaming my head off, you should get the when you hear me sucking that huge thing of air and then cut it off so nobody gets to hear me go into fucking screaming fit.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Boba Fett next week. I'm just saying.
Comes Wednesday, 2 days from now.
So this has been hour and 45 minutes sour. We had an hour and 48 minutes sour. Where can you catch us?
At the bar, ladies.
At the bar,
guys.
Now. Watchingcomplain.com.
Filmgamer.com.
And Rob's three annoying people and Rob, yeah.
Three amazing. I'm the annoying one. Well, we don't have a website, so
I'm twisting it.
Search for us in the vast.
Don't you get a website?
Yeah, for. means there's one more fucking thing I gotta maintain.
Just have the URL go straight to like a podcast feed. Dude, this is Rob in a nutshell. He's like, I want to put out the content, but I don't care if anyone sees it.
Yeah, I don't give a shit if
I mean,
anyone
isn't
hears
that noble in its own way?